Hi everyone. So I have been working on this project. So the responses from the backend is coming as a stream, but this streaming is not actually standard streaming responses. This is basically a big markdown content which is coming in chunks and coming as a streaming response. So I have been using this React Native SSE library to get the result, but as you can see, the project is running. I am console logging this event, but as you can see, there is nothing happening. This SSE server side event connection is opened, but there is no responses yet. So I will be debugging and going deep in the source code to solve this issue. So as you can see in this library, there is three files mainly. One is index.js, which is only exporting the event source, and that is the type file, and this is the actual source code. So now I'm going to copy paste these two files to my repository so that I can further debug it. Also, we can just copy paste these whole types to event source.ts. Now let's import this event source file to local React Native SSE folder. Now let's take a look at the source code itself. We can see these are the types, and here is the event source class itself. We can see the constructor is here, and if you go down, there is a poll again function. So on poll again function, there is this open function. On this open function, so as you can see on the constructor, there is nothing else to do. And on the source code, on the implementation, you can see we are only using the class, and there is no other functionality here. So maybe the constructor is the main thing that executing any kind of function. As you can see, there is only one function is calling from constructor, and that is poll again, underscore poll again, and underscore poll again executes this open function. On this open function, let's see what happens. So these are variables. Let's go down, let's go down. So you can see if the status. So from the front end, we are sending a request and we are getting a response, which also contains the status. So if the status is greater than 200 or equal or less than 400, then we are getting the status right. We are requesting the way it should be requested, and we are getting this data. So you can see on here, there is poll again, and also the handle event. So let's go to this handle event function. The handle event, we are sending the responses, detect new line character. So this detect new line character is actually for the standard streaming responses, but we are not dealing with standard responses, so there shouldn't be any kind of new line character. We shouldn't be detect new line character. But let's see. There is also this thing line start should be event. So in our responses, we are not this is not a standard streaming. So there should be there shouldn't be any kind of event start with event and start with data. There shouldn't be anything like that. But let's see what actually happening. We can just console log here and we can see the responses. Here is my terminal. Let's reload. So on the console log, you can see we're getting the responses as Markdown. You can see this live Markdown update is actually the responses. As we can see on this code, it's actually detecting if lines start with event or data. So basically what we can do if for this is a quick and dirty solution, that we should check if it's if it should not start with event or data, then we will do something. So basically we can do something like this. Let's console log on here and also refresh this. Yeah, so we can see if even with this condition, it's also console log. So we are getting the responses, markdown responses. But that's not it. We have to actually dispatch this result so that we should dispatch so that it can be uh, catch on these event listeners. So we need to dispatch this. So this is the dispatch code, and we can see, and the type is a message. So here, when the event type will be message, it will be captured. And we should also do the return so that it will break here. And let's see our app. So yeah, you can see we are getting the data, but as you can see, there is actually overlap. So live markdown update should come only one time, but you can see live markdown and current time is here, and live markdown current time, and with the extra data, you can see this extra data is actually appended with the previous data and comes again. So we need to address this issue. We need to track somehow the indexes so that it will be split. So it also can be done from here with just a small change. So with this code, and let's also change this response. It shouldn't be response, it will be new data. So as you can see, we are tracking these responses, and we are actually splitting into the substring using the index processed, and it should give us the final result. Let's refresh it. Yeah, so as you can see, it's working perfectly in our use case. So this is the basic process of debugging and kind of React Native library. You just have to console log a bunch of places and try and get a solution. If yeah, you have to try a lot of things. Thanks. Bye.